so I can kind of angle you in shot a bit better. Hello everyone, I'm just back in the door. I've got my little tea thingy here. By the way, while I'm waiting for you all to join me, this is not a cheap cup, but it is so worth every penny. And by the way, you can get it on Amazon. I'm going to put a link and I'm going to tell you all about this. Hello, Nina. Now, I am now an Amazon affiliate. So if I put Amazon links, I will get a little bit of commission. And I probably will be putting out a video. Hello there, BB. I'll probably be putting out a video of my Amazon favourites in the next couple of weeks. Not because I'm greedy and I want to earn loads of money already, because you don't earn a lot, right? But in the first 180 days, they watch, you're on a kind of probation. And they expect you to kind of talk about their products and whatever. So, you know, I did the brushes. Now, I did the brushes before I was on it and then joined. So thank you to Nina for suggesting it. It was a good idea. But so anyway, you know, I'm always full disclosure. So I'm going to do one about my Amazon favorites. And they're all products that I bought before I became an Amazon affiliate. And they're not telling me what to recommend for you. And I would never recommend anything that I thought was rubbish. Okay. Now, I am going to recommend this just because I happen to have it in my hand. And you can get this on Amazon and I'll put the link below. Because I am going to do a video shortly. While people are joining, I'm going to tell you about things that have helped me with my disability. And particularly in the last 6 months when I've been virtually unable to walk and using crutches, right? There's certain things that have really been able to help me. A couple of them are Mia Tui bags, which you don't get on Amazon. But this, as I said, it's not the cheapest takeaway mug, but boy, is it the best. This is by Contigo, right? Now, this is the only one that I have found, and I'm going to it's got a lock on it, right? Like this. Because I go to appointments and you want to take your cup of tea, because if I get dehydrated, I start getting migraines, right? Now, when I go out, it's the only one that does not leak, right? Does not leak. I can put it in my bag, I can sling it around, and it will not leak, okay? And that's got tea in it, because I've just been drinking it. The other thing that I like about this is the way that you drink out of it, which is you press this button in the side here. Then when you let go, it seals it. Now, again, this is not the same as locking it. Right, and there might be a drip there. No, you see, it's still, I haven't locked that, and it's still not leaking. Because the button is not pressed down, there's like a little flap that closes there. So it keeps it hot and whatever. Now, the other thing, I'm just doing a little bit of a sales about this while you're all joining me, and then I'm going to get into my makeup look. The other thing I like about this is, and I haven't got it here now, and I can't get up to show you, but they do an attachment. Again, the attachment's expensive, but worth every penny. If you like your tea, hello, Shahina. If you like your tea, they've got an infuser that you have to buy separately that clicks into there. And you infuse love my Earl Grey, my loose Earl Grey tea. You infuse it. It's got a little cup underneath. I'll show it you later. You buy it separately and you stick that in there. You infuse your tea. And then you bring it out. Perfect. I love this. And of course, it's in purple, right? So anyway, I highly recommend this. And it goes into my rucksack bag and it doesn't leak. It's just the only one that I've had that doesn't leak. So if you're interested, I'll be putting the link below. And as I said, there will be a commission on that if you're interested. But I heartily recommend that. And I better unlock it because I want to be drinking my tea. Right. So this morning, I had to go and get this prescription. While I get my foundation ready, let's put a bit of Flawless Filter on. I had to go and get my prescription because they'd run out and I haven't taken one of my tablets for about 5 days that I really need. And so I pulled in, got it, because they said it was in stock, and literally took one in the car so I don't get sick. Hello, Shahina. So I'm just putting on some Flawless Filter. So I thought today what I'd do is a green eye makeup look using that green palette that my sister got me for my birthday. Is everyone okay with that? But I did film a couple of videos yesterday and I'm going to give you a sneak preview of what they are. Okay, I will show you what they are in a second. So yesterday I filmed one video about one of the, one of the pigments from Carla Cosmetics, and I did a blue eye makeup look. So I filmed that, just got to edit it, and it will be up. And I did another one. Oh, doesn't that Flawless Filter look nice just on its own? I quite like that. I think maybe there was a bit of foundation left on this brush. There must have been. That's too much coverage just for Flawless Filter. Yeah, there must have been. Anyway, don't you get your prescription 10 days? Yes, I do. Yes, I do, Shahina. I get my well in advance, and I also make sure that I have more than I need. And they'd run out, and they'd run out for the last 3 weeks until I'd run out of my reserves, and they'd all run out in the area. And I basically now I've made sure, you know, my patches, if I stopped taking my patches, I would become seriously ill from cold turkey. And so I've made sure that I've got probably about nearly a month in advance of those patches because, yeah, if they run out, because also what worries me is that they've now, you know how you get brand names of certain products? In this area, the surgery has said that they prescribed my patches as a brand name because they're cheaper than any others. And they changed the prescription and they've prescribed it as the brand name. So they have to dispense that brand name. And what worries me is if everybody in the area is getting that brand name and they run out, then I'm going to be stuck. Now, foundation. Oh, silly girl, you put your foundation away. Do you know what? No, I must have something here. I know I do have something here. I haven't sorted out my little station yet because I haven't had time. I'm going to put on my full coverage. So I did that yesterday, and I also did another palette, which I'm looking for in a minute. You know, because I've rushed from doing that, and I've also rushed from seeing my dad. I'm not being very organised. I'm just going to add a little bit of this, which is the MAC Full Coverage Foundation. And by the way, I've got to say, you know those tools where you go online to do your match, you know, your foundation match? Some of them are terrible. right? The Charlotte Tilbury one was awful, and there was another one that was really awful, and it matched me to a really silly shade. I have to say the MAC one is spot on. Now, I went on to the MAC one. Now, knowing that I've been NC35 for a number of years, but it's starting to look a bit yellow on me. I went on and I thought, I wonder what it's going to say. I test these things out. And I went on and I stood in front of the light and I did my photograph, and it said, you're NC37. And it said, if you want to go warmer, go for NC35. And if you want to go more rosy, go for NW38 or something. But NC37, now you would have thought NC37 is going to be darker than NC35. It's not. It's just more neutral. So it is the more neutral version of NC35, which is spot on. So if you're not clear what your MAC foundation shade is, I highly recommend going on and doing the MAC test because it is spot on. You love my top. Perfect for spring. Thank you. This top I got from the White Stuff. The only thing I don't like about, I love the pattern, and Mick loves me in this top, by the way. The only thing I don't like is the collar. It never sits properly. But I do love the pattern, and I've got it on with a purple corduroy skirt. And it actually works. I love teal and purple, you know, and I should have done a teal and purple look today, but never mind. Okay, so I've now put on my foundation. Now, I really wanted to show you that other thing that I was doing a video on yesterday. And what have I done with it? It must be about, because I did the video on it yesterday. Just bear with me a minute. So I'm going to give you a sneak preview. It's going to hurt getting up, but I can hold on to the table. Bear with me a minute and don't look at the clutter in the background. Right. Did you hear my knee click then? Did you hear my knee go? This is what I did a video on yesterday. The Patrick Tar blush palette. They're 3 creams and 3 powders, and they're pretty. They're very, very pretty. So that's coming out, just needs to be edited. And the other one that I'm going to film tomorrow, Lisa Eldridge Muse palette. I cannot wait. And what, you know what it is? When I get these products, I don't use them until I do my video. But I don't like doing ones like this on a live, because I like to do them so that people that really want to see the product don't have to sit through all the chat. But I would definitely do this tomorrow because I can't wait to try it. You can see it's still a virgin palette. Look at that. Lisa Eldridge Muse. Isn't that my kind of palette? Not that I need much purple eye makeup. But today I'm going to do green. And I can assure you, by the way, that my tooth is on schedule for being fixed. I'm not going to be permanently toothless. Right, I'm not going to put any powder at the moment. I'm going to just put on my eye makeup, and I'll do the powder in a minute because I'm quite liking the glow it gives me. Okay, so I thought I'd use this palette from P.Louise that I got for my birthday. Because if you can remember, it's got quite a lot of greens in it. Let's show you the palette again. Oh, I'm sure that I love, that sounded a bit big-headed. I am sure they're going to look fab on me because I know that purples look fab on me. I think mainly because I love purple, but it's just my colour. Loving your hair. Sorry you're still suffering with your knee. Mine's not as bad as it was. Awaiting the MRI scan. I can only walk in flip-flops. Ali, how did you get on the wait for an MRI scan? I'd love to know. Because I'm still at stage 1. I've been told that I've got to wait to have an X-ray first. And they won't do the MRI until I've had a scan. And they won't do a scan until I've had an X-ray. Right? And my X-ray is next week. And then I've got to have the ultrasound. And then I've got to have the MRI. And they did an X-ray in December. And I know that the X-ray is going to tell them nothing other than no change since December. Complete waste of time and money. But it's protocol. Right, this is the Money Shot palette from P.Louise. And I'm going to show you without showing you the mirror. This is going to be a bit tricky. There are all the greens. As you can see, I haven't used it yet. And then there's more greens underneath. So no shortage of greens. So I'm going to play while we talk. Right, so let's take this off here. And let's take the bottom one off. And I'm also going to use a P.Louise green base. Oh, you know, as I've opened the bottom drawer, that little plastic thing has got caught up. Come on. There you go. It's called the Money Shot palette. I probably just said that. So the ones on the bottom are more yellowy greens. Yes, I've heard about that, Nina. They're going to do a create your own palette. I am waiting. P.Louise are bringing out a purple palette next month. And apparently those that buy the mystery box, the budget box, are guaranteed to get it early. So I've bought a budget box, but we don't know whether it's coming out in May or June. So I bought a budget box for this month. And I thought it doesn't matter because I've got a lot of female birthdays coming up in June. So I can give things away if need be. But I want that purple palette. I've got to have that purple palette. Right. Now, let's get myself... I think I've got a green. I must have a green. I do have a green. I've just spotted it. I have 2 greens. I have 2 greens that I can use as a base. So the question is, which green will I use? Let's pull them both out. And apologies, Nina, I still haven't opened that. I still haven't opened that melt away makeup remover to tell you what it smells like. I think I'm going to use this one as the base because that one is going to be too vibrant as a base, I think. Don't know. What do you think? Which one do you think I should use? Mind you, this has got a bit of blue in it as well. It's a hint of mint. No, let's be daring. Let's use the green. You're going through Benenden. Ah, I see. You've gone through Benenden. Well, I'm thinking of going private, but I said that to my GP. I said, look, I'm thinking of going private, and I actually thought I'd just pay for a one-off. And he said, oh, we don't need to do that yet. So he kind of stopped me. Oh, look at that. So I'm just using the colour base. These colour bases are brilliant, you know, because they're so They're so versatile, and you can use them on your lips. I know you probably wouldn't want green lipstick, but you never know, maybe for St. Patrick's Day. But actually they work really well on the lips as well. Now, the other thing from my Amazon finds, my sister discovered these. I'm going to do a little, when I do my Amazon finds video, I'm going to show you some eyeshadows, which are just like in formula and in wear. They are just like the MAC Pro Longwear paint pots, except they come in more interesting colours. And I got 3 late ones for my birthday, and I bought a couple, so I've got 5 of them, and I definitely recommend them. Your makeup will stay on all day. St. Patrick's Day is your sister's birthday. Well, there you go. So you're going to have a nice green look. Now, I'm going to take my Sonia G brush, my only Sonia G brush, which is well used, and I'm going to start picking some greens. What I'm going to do is I'm going to start with a kind of more muted one on the bottom as a transition. So this kind of, it's a sort of yellowy, mustardy thing, but I'm just going to go in on the top and use that as a transition shade. So you can definitely get very creative with palettes like this. I keep doing this. My teacher that taught me how to do stage makeup would have a fit. Hold the brush at the end. And he was right. When you hold the brush at the end, it blends better. Do not, I keep going in and doing this. Don't do it there, because what happens is you don't press the pigment into your skin. And when you press it into your skin, it won't blend. So if you want something to blend out really well, you want to hold the brush right at the end, because then when you wiggle it, it's just stroking the skin and it's not pressing it into one place. The best tip I learned when I did that training years ago. Right, so that's kind of my transition-y shade. And now I'm going to go in with a bolder green. You love how friendly we all are. MRIs are well over £500. Yeah, you know what I was going to do, Ali? I was going to pay for the consultation, and I'd already looked into that, and it was going to be £200, and possibly pay for the MRI as well. So I kind of had about 1,000 put by. But as I said, my GP's put me off. So at the moment, I'm just sort of waiting. Now I'm going to build up. I'm going to start out with a kind of slightly more muted green. Sorry, I can't keep holding this palette up because it's so heavy and big. And then I'm going to build it up. And then we're going to put something a bit sparkly, obviously, on the mobile lid. So I'm now using, if you've got this palette and you're watching, I'm using Bank on it. And I haven't forgotten to come back and do some more videos and some more lives on the Charlotte Tilbury collections of old. Right, I'm going to go in now with Action, which is a darker. And as I go darker, I'm targeting it more into the centre. I'm not brushing it up as far, if that makes sense. But I'm trying to avoid getting it too much on my mobile lid, because I want that to stay slightly sticky for the shimmer shade. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to take my smudge brush and I'm going to go in with this. There's a really nice shade here, which actually, interestingly enough, I wish I could put this down somewhere. Interestingly enough, this shade is very close to my shirt. This colour in my shirt. Someone out there is getting aggressive with their driving. I'm going to put this in the corner. I was based in London. I'm not anymore. I'm in Essex, Shahina. Yeah, that is lovely. We are a friendly bunch here. You occasionally get a bit of negativity, but I kind of tend to discourage that. I've started to manage that a bit more by not putting up with it, because I don't want a toxic community. So the longer I've been doing this, I just don't suffer fools gladly. And if someone remains, you know, you don't mind disagreements, but if someone's just coming on being toxic for the sake of it, then I'll block them. It's happened a few times. I just block them. I just think I don't want my community to be a negative thing. It's not about when someone respectfully disagrees with you, that's fine. We don't all have to have the same opinion. But when they're coming on just being negative about everything, you can kind of pick it up. There's some people that just come on and they'll watch an hour-long video and they'll pick up on one thing to be negative about, and they'll do it continuously. And you start to recognise those, and there's no reassuring them or making it better. You just, you know, I just block them. Right, now I'm going to take a lovely, there's one right in the middle called the Money Shot. No, yes, it's called the Money Shot, which is the name of the palette. And I'm just going to pop that on top. Oh, yes. This palette is going to be my... There are some palettes that I have on days where maybe I'm in pain and I want to distract myself. Because we all know that pain relief doesn't work for chronic pain. It might ease it a little bit, but there are days that you just have to distract yourself from it. And my mindfulness, people do it with mindfulness. My mindfulness is using a really creative palette like this and experimenting with what kind of look I can get out of it. Look at that. I've got to clean up the sides, I know. And I'm going to take a lighter one, which I'm going to pick Backstage. Yeah, Backstage. And I'm going to dot that in the middle. Now, a lot of this is going to be about the cleanup in a minute. But then I'm going to take... there's so many to choose from here. But I'm going to take one that I can use. Now, is there one that's kind of a bit more neutral that I can use as a highlighter. Yeah, that might work. So I'm going to take this one, just going to clean off this brush a minute. I'm going to take this one and use it to highlight here. I'm going to put something in between. This one's called Hard Cash. I've got to trim my brows. I've got little curly hairs coming down. I actually like that one as well. I'm going to put a bit of that right in the centre as well. And then there are some really neutral browns. There's one called Life is a Movie. And I'm going to use that just to blend the top away even more. I love going in at the end. That's too brown. That was a little bit too brown for my liking. I love going in at the end and using a bit more transition. I just wish that was a little bit lighter. Maybe I should have used... Let's try this one. Making Paper. Yeah, that's better. Yeah, that's better. Right, now, I need to do a couple of things. Oh, first of all, I need to put this palette down for a minute. And I need to clean up the edges because otherwise it's going to look messy. So I'm going to take... Yes, it is a P.Louise palette, and it's called the Money Shot. So if you love greens, it's a great little palette to have. I got it for my birthday, and I've found the dark one of my concealer, but never mind, it will still clean it up. The annoying thing when you can't move is that you don't realise how much of the time you get up and move to get things, and suddenly you can't, and it's so frustrating. You see now how that just tidies it up immediately and makes it look more polished. So basically you're drawing a line. I'm sure you all know this by now, but in case you don't, you kind of draw an imaginary line from where the end of your eye line, as though you're going up to where your brow points, and clean it up like that. It immediately sharpens up. And I wish that hair's like sticking out like a sore thumb now. Go away. Move. Hello, Rachel. So for those joining me, I am using the Money Shot palette by P.Louise. And so far, we've got a very bright look. Now, I'm going to go in with... Now, what is the opposite? Here's a little quiz. What is the opposite to green on the colour wheel? Does anyone know? What is the opposite to green on the colour wheel? Oh, bye, Nina. Answers on a postcard, please. I'm going to just use a bit of, while I'm waiting for you all to answer, I'm going to use a little bit of classic black, Charlotte Tilbury. No, it's not burgundy. It's not really a primary colour, but it's more primary than burgundy, if that makes sense. I'm just going to use classic black. No, it's not purple. Right, I'll tell you the answer in a minute. Now, I'm just using Charlotte Tilbury's classic black pencil in my upper waterline. This is my favourite Charlotte Tilbury pencil, as you know. And then I'm just taking it along the side. Oh, thank you, BB. Now, can you see, if you're a hoodie like me, and you find that when you put a liner on your eyes, that it kind of, you've only got a little bit of mobile lid, and it takes up space. Can you see how that immediately defines my eye, even though I haven't put any on the upper lid? Now, I'm going to put a little bit, but now because I've put it in the waterline, I don't need to go all the way along with it. And then I'm just following that line where I've cleaned up to put the black and a little bit underneath, because I like linking it up. Right, and you probably don't know why I'm asking what the opposite colour is to green, because you know I'm a fan of doing contrasting shades in the waterline. So when I do a blue or whatever, I often like to do a contrasting shade. And the contrasting shade is a good contrasting shade to use. Sorry, I'm just concentrating because I'm in my upper waterline at the moment. Don't want to stab myself in the eye. A good contrasting shade to use is the one that's opposite on the colour wheel. So the opposite colour to green is brown. So if you've got brown eyes, am I right? Or is it blue? Do you know what? I may have just got that wrong. It may be blue, actually. It is blue. What am I talking about? Forget that, ladies. It's blue. But anyway, brown is a warm colour. Green is more of a cool colour. And so I'm going to put this, which is not brown, but it's a copper. And I'm going to put this in my lower waterline as a contrast. So you'd have stumped me if any of you had said blue, because you'd have been right. And I'd have been wrong. Blue is the opposite. And actually, Rachel, when you said purple, you weren't correct, but you were onto something, because if you've got green eyes, purple is one of the most contrasting shades that you can have. And burgundy actually was a good one because if you've got green eyes, you know Charlotte's got green eyes, and she often puts kind of burgundy, purpley shades on. So I could see where you were both coming from. Absolutely. And it's purple is right. It's the contrasting colour. But I don't know whether purple is exactly the opposite of green on the colour wheel. I'm going to have to check. You might be right. You might be right. Brown is opposite to blue. You might be right. You might be right. But purple basically will work for any colour eye because it will contrast. It says red is opposite to green. Thank you, Ali. That makes sense. That makes sense. Red is opposite to green. So burgundy, purples. You see, purple, and when you look on the colour wheel, because purple is more of your complex colour. So purple is a mixture of blue. As you go on the colour wheel, you've got red and then you've got blue. And as you move from red to blue, you get more and more. You know, when I'm talking about lipsticks are blue reds or they're orange reds. So you've got orange one side and you've got kind of blue the other side. And then you've got your purples in between. They're more mixes. So red makes sense. Of course, red is the opposite to green. But so a burgundy would work really well with this, actually, if I put a burgundy in my waterline. Now I'm going to take a little bit of green underneath. And I'm not going to pick this thing up again. I'm just going to quickly grab one. I'm going to take that Money Shot one again. I'm going to use this silicone. I haven't tried this with an actual eyeshadow yet, but it's very good where you want to line right under that eye line because it lets you lay down a really thin line. Let me just use the back of my hand as a palette. Now I have sourced some silicone brushes from Amazon, and I'll talk about those in my Amazon finds. For those of you that didn't see the beginning of my live, I was just explaining that I've joined Amazon Associates, which means if I put a link to something from Amazon, I will get a little bit of commission, which will enable me to kind of keep buying products because it's getting quite expensive, as you can imagine. It's only a little bit of money. It's not, you can't retire and become a millionaire on it, but it just all helps to buy products and stuff. And as I said, I can reassure you that I would not recommend anything that I wouldn't buy myself. And all the things that I recommend, I probably have bought myself or something very similar. Yes, the colour chameleon. And when Charlotte did the, when she did the, you know, the different coloured, the 4 different coloured ones for different coloured eyes. That's what she was getting at when she brought out those quads. I could go back to those in one of my videos. Now, I got this. Do you remember I got a miniature one of these mascaras in my Easter egg? And you were all saying that you really like this mascara. Well, not all of you, but a couple of you were saying, I got the full size, but the full size comes in 2 different flavours. This is the MAC Stack Mascara. You can get the bushy brush or the miniature brush. And if you've got fine, you find that as you've got older, your lashes are becoming finer and shorter. This is a really good brush because it's quite small and it's really easy to pick up all those little ones that are kind of stuck. And this is the kind of look that you do not want to not put mascara on with, because it just doesn't look complete unless you put mascara on, or it'd be even better when you put false lashes on, but I just can't be bothered. You know, when I was younger, I used to wear contact lenses, and I think as I got older and my eyes have become more sensitive, I just don't want to be fiddling around with anything that is going to just start making my eyes water. So I got into lashes for a while and then just stopped. Now I'm going to show you how. Does anyone want to see a little sneak preview of my, you're going to see a video I'm editing today. Does anyone want me to use my Patrick Tar palette on my cheeks right now? Because actually the peach one would look really nice with this look. Okay. Now, what I would say about the Patrick Tar palette is they're not really, really bold in your face. They just look really pretty, and really, if you're a fan of a blush that just really makes you look pretty, but it doesn't look like in your face blush, they're the ones to get. And as I said, it's the first Patrick Tar palette of any product, of anything that I've got. Now, Patrick Tar's method of application is really interesting because it goes against everything I was taught. So when you taught to do makeup, you're always told creams go on first, powders go on second. And the idea is that the powder clings to the cream and then it lasts longer. But Patrick Tar's method is the opposite, is you apply the powder blush first and then you put the cream over the top. And I tried this yesterday when I was doing the video and I was quite surprised. So this is the palette. You've got now this one's a lot more vibrant, but I just think it would be too much with this eyeshadow. I'm going to do these and I'll use these 2 highlighters. This is very like a clear gloss. There's not really much pigment in it and it doesn't look shimmery. It's more like putting a gloss on your face. It's very pretty though. So I'm going to just put some of this. So I'm going to start by putting the powder. And it's one of those things, you know, when you were taught to do something in a certain way and you've done it that way for years, I have to stop and think, now what am I doing first? But it's the powders going on first. Now, you don't have to. If you want it to last longer, you don't have to do it the Patrick Tar way, just because it's a Patrick Tar palette. But look at this. Isn't that a beautiful peachy shade? Now, I'm going to put on too much so that you can actually see. how pretty it is. I deliberately did that. Huda Beauty Obsessions 9 colour palette. I'm not sure. Were you referring to Rachel? I'm not sure the context of Huda Beauty Obsessions 9 colour palette. It's something I was just talking about a minute ago and I've forgotten. Right, so that isn't that a lovely shade? Normally I wouldn't put that much on, but I wanted you to see it. Now, I'm going to now dot the cream, and it has one of these. And I love that because I can't stand it when you have, you know, one of the latest Natasha Denona palettes has got creams and it's got powders in. The powder gets stuck in the cream. This one doesn't because it's covered up. Oh, for green eyes. Yes. Right, so this is the cream. And what he says is to put that over the top. And it's lovely. And it's interesting, it doesn't make the powder go patchy underneath. Because that's another reason we were taught not to do it that way round. But maybe he's formulated it so that that doesn't happen. Oh, that's good, Ali. You saw the Huda Mercury Retrograde eyeshadow palette in TK Maxx for £30. Right, now this one here is a gloss. As I said, look, when you see the highlighter, it's actually colourless. But again, I've got to think, right, powder on first. Now, I did try it the other way around yesterday, the way round that I would be used to putting it on, which is cream first. Hello, Jack. Jack's just in from school. I'm just doing my live a bit later today. How was school?
Good.
Oh, that's good. Good is an improvement on normal, isn't it?
Not really.
Right, so that is the powder highlighter. Again, you see it's not in your face. It's just a classy one. And then you put this gloss over the top. Right, so that is the Patrick Tar palette. And that is called Major Headlines Blush Palette Volume 2. And I got that reduced on Cult Beauty. Now, I know what I was going to show you to put on my lips. Just hold on a second. Let me just put this palette away. Just so that you can see how versatile these products are. First of all, what I want to do is grab my lip oil. My Charlotte Tilbury lip oil, which is in front of me somewhere. I know it is. I know it is. I know it is. I know it is. Where are you, lip oil? I really wanted you because my lips are dry. Do you ever talk to your makeup? I'm always talking to my makeup, asking where it's hiding from me. No, it's hiding from me. I'll find it as soon as I put my lip product on. Oh, well. Maybe I won't put on any lip oil. Right. I wanted to show you how versatile these colour bases are. Yes, I've seen the Aldi version of the CT lip oil. But you know what is really annoying, Ali? So Ali said, have I seen that the Aldi version? I've seen it on TikTok. But what's so annoying, I'm so annoyed at the moment, is that my Aldi seems to have stopped selling any beauty products. And I went and asked one lady the other day, I said, what's happened to all your beauty special buys? You know, you can only get their regulars that are in the normal section. So where are all your beauty special buys? She said, oh, we're not doing beauty for a while. She said, we haven't been able to get hold of them, but they'll be back in about 6 weeks. And she said this about 7 weeks ago and they're still not in. I bet it's good, isn't it? And it'll be a lot cheaper than the Charlotte Tilbury one. No, definitely can't find the lip oil. Anyway, never mind. I'm going to use this, which is called... Am I going to use this one? No, that's too orange. I want to use a peachy one. I have a peachy one somewhere. Cute in coral. Oh, maybe that is a peachy one, is it? No, that's a Dormy apricot. I've got a peachy one. I want the peachy one. Pretentious peach. Here we go. So this is a P.Louise colour base. Now, I got a bundle of these where you got 11 for... I can't remember, but if you get 11 of the shades in a bundle for something like £30 instead of £10 each. Well, that didn't go on very well. Let's try that again. Because normally these come out really beautifully on the lips, but that didn't. Let's try again. There we go. Actually, I might mix that with a bit darker. It's a bit too light. But they do actually last quite a long time on the lips. Let me mix it with that one that I had a minute ago, the apricot-y one. Maybe I was right to pick this one. No, This is a work in progress. I'm not loving that either. It's very 60s. Green eye makeup and orange lipstick. Very 60s. But I don't want 60s. I'm going to go for Rosewood, which looks really pretty on the lips. Where is Rosewood? Is that Rosewood? Radiant Rosewood. This one looks really lovely. And I've got no tissues. Never mind, I'll put it over the top. This is lovely on the lips. I'm going to show you the colour. Now, this would look nicer on its own, but they mix really well anyway, as you can see. Great way of mixing. You know, when you get a lipstick and you think, no, that's not right, you can just keep mixing these until you get the right shade. There you go. It still looks a bit 60s, but what do you think? That's my look for today. I'm going to finish off with some spray. And a bit of powder. Once that dries down. Zhuzh up my hair a bit. I need to go somewhere glam now. No chance. No chance. Now, behind my ears or zhuzhed up. Behind my ears, but zhuzhed at the top, I think. Right, a little bit of powder. Powder. Let's use a bit of this one. This is my Makeup Forever Twist and Light. I did a video about last week. So you twist it, tap it until you get a bit of powder in the bottom, and it's got colour correctors in it, but it also leaves you with a lovely glow. Now, I'm not going to put too much over that cream. I'm just going to put it here and under my eyes. Now, this doesn't actually mattify your skin too much because it's got a bit of glow to it, but it'll just take down some ultra shiny bits because it's more of a finishing powder than a setting powder. Right. I actually quite like that lipstick now. It's a nice shade to go with it. So yes, I'm going to be doing the Lisa Eldridge tomorrow, and do stay tuned because I'm going to be editing later on today the 2 videos that I did yesterday. So the Patrick Tar palette, which you've seen a bit of today, and also I'm going to be showing you a blue eye look using this pigment, which is called Ribbon by mine's gone blank, Carla Cosmetics. All right, so I hope you come and watch those soon. Don't forget to like the live. Thank you, Shahina, for reminding people, and I'll see you all very soon. Thanks for joining me. Love you all. Mwah.